Incident 1. Disrespectful woke reporters are getting instant karma. Sounds great, right? From Vivek Ramaswamy to Elon Musk, these bold figures are redefining how to handle disrespectful woke reporters. Their way of dismantling was an iconic moment. What makes their responses so iconic and impactful? Can't wait to watch those unforgettable moments. When disrespectful woke reporters try to twist conversations into traps, it's like watching someone set a net only to catch themselves. People are tired of this endless game of gotcha questions that serve no purpose other than to stir controversy. Vivek Ramaswamy's bold response to a reporter's loaded question is a perfect example of how to handle such moments with confidence and logic. Instead of reciting a pre-scripted apology or bending to someone else's agenda, he called out the very framework of the reporter's question. It wasn't just about refusing to play along, it was about exposing how these tactics fuel division in society rather than unity. His refusal to tiptoe around sensitive topics while advocating for real solutions shows that boldness can pave the way for progress. If more leaders spoke with such honesty, could we finally bridge the divides that sensationalism has deepened?
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which absolutely fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do that, and we're going to move this country forward. And I don't care whether you're black or white or brown or anything in between. That's how we're going to unite this country. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point, creating a projection of national division. I meet people from the south side of Chicago to meetings like this one of every shade of melanin, multiple, from man to woman, doesn't make a difference, who are hungry for reviving unity in this country. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you.
Incident 2. Some interviews feel less like conversations and more like confrontations. It's no secret that some reporters use provocative questions to stir controversy rather than seek meaningful insights. Take the intense exchange with Quentin Tarantino, for example. The reporter seemed determined to pin him down about the supposed link between movie violence and real-life violence. Tarantino, however, wasn't having any of it. He boldly shut down the narrative, refusing to play into the gotcha tactics. His response wasn't just defiant, it was a masterclass in standing firm against unfair interrogation. Tarantino reminded everyone that his job as a filmmaker is to create art, not to justify or debate social issues he's already addressed for years. This moment wasn't just a defense of his work, it was a wake-up call for interviewers to respect boundaries and intentions. But why do some reporters blur the line between genuine questions and sensational traps?
Let me ask you about violence. I mean, you said, everyone knows you make violent movies, you like violent movies. Why do you like making violent movies?
I don't know. It's like asking Judd Apatow, why do you like making comedies?
You just get a kick out of it, or you just enjoy it?
Well, I think it's good cinema. I consider it good cinema. You sit there in a movie theater when these cathartic violent scenes happen. I'm talking about the cathartic violent scenes. I'm not talking about there's two types of violence in this movie. There's the brutality of the violence in the day put upon the slaves
the rape
during the time. I don't think there's any rape going on in the movie. All right, but there's brutality to the slaves. That hasn't been dealt with in America to the extent that I deal with it. And I'm showing you that there was two Holocausts in America. This is one of them. We've dealt with the Indian Holocaust, the Holocaust of the American Indian in America. But we haven't been dealing with the Holocaustic aspects, the Auschwitzian aspects of the slave trade in America. My movie deals with that. Then there's the cathartic violence of Django paying back blood for blood.
And is that why you think people like watching violent movies? People who are not violent people, or twisted people in any way, but why it's okay to go into a movie and enjoy the violence?
Yeah, well, it's a movie. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. It's not real life. It's a fantasy. You go and you watch, you watch a kung fu movie, and one guy takes on 100 people in a restaurant. That's fun.
But why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Okay, well, no, I was just asking you why. That's fine. But you see, Jamie Foxx has said we can't turn our back and say that violence in films
well,
or
then you should
anything
talk
that
to
we
Jamie
do
Foxx.
doesn't have a
Then you
source of
should talk to
influence.
Jamie Foxx about that. And I think he's actually here, so you can.
I'd love to, but I mean, it's interesting that you have a different view, and I'm just trying to explore that.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Because I'm here to sell my movie. This is a commercial for the movie, make no mistake.
Well, you
and
interviews.
Yeah.
So you don't want to talk about anything serious?
I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the implications of violence. I haven't wanted, because the reason I don't want to talk about it is I've said everything I have to say about it. If anyone cares what I have to say about it, they can Google me. And they can look for 20 years what I have to say about it. I haven't changed my opinion one iota.
No, but you haven't fleshed it out. That's the only reason.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
And that's entirely your
This is a
your
commercial
right.
from my movie.
No, I know, but it's my job to try and explore some serious themes as well. I'm sure.
Well, I invite you to explore some serious things, but not things that I have already been on the record for talking about.
Well, violence is such a big part of all of your movies, and it's an enjoyable part of your movies for so many people, and that's why I'm talking about this, because it's a very sensitive time at the moment. I mean, the vice president is talking to people in the movie industry today about violence in response
and you know where I stand on it.
Which is that there's no relationship. And
yes.
But you haven't said why you think there's no relationship.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that.
Well, it's my job to ask you why you think that.
And
you're very influential.
No. And I'm shutting you down.
But you have a responsibility as a filmmaker, surely, to explain a little bit about
No,
what
I
you're
don't
doing.
have any responsibility to you to explain anything I don't want to.
No, not to me, but to your viewers, to your fans, to people who care about what it is that you're doing.
They know where I'm coming from. And I have explained it. And I have explained even what you're talking about. I'm just not giving it to you.
Why?
Because I don't want to, because I've done it already.
Incident 3. There's something fascinating about watching a public figure keep their cool while turning the tables on an interviewer with sharp, thoughtful questions. Sometimes reporters push their agendas so hard that it becomes clear they're more interested in controversy than facts. Elon Musk recently showed us exactly how to handle such moments during an interview about hateful content on Twitter. The reporter claimed the platform had more hateful posts since Musk's takeover, but when asked for even one example, they couldn't name a single one. Calm but firm, Musk highlighted the flaws in their argument by simply asking questions that expose the lack of substance behind the claims. It's moments like these that remind us accountability works both ways. Journalists have a responsibility to back up their statements just as much as their interview subjects. Are these interviews revealing the truth or just chasing headlines?
And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't need. Honestly, I
you
don't.
can't name a single example. Well, hang on a second. You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying.
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
In a world polarized by agendas and sensationalism, standing firm against manipulative narratives is essential. Leaders like Vivek Ramaswamy remind us that courage and clarity can challenge divisive tactics. By rejecting games of division, we can foster genuine unity and move toward meaningful solutions for a stronger, more united society. If you believe in standing up to divisive narratives and fostering unity, let your voice be heard. Comment your thoughts below, like this post, and share it with others who value bold honesty. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content that challenges the status quo.